Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Ameen ya rabbal alameen. So here we are with our session number 279 for Quranic Arabic grammar and session number 4 for Surah Al-Hujurat. And inshallah, we are going to continue the Sarf and Nahw of our Surah Al-Hujurat, a very beautiful surah, a surah full of lessons, and a very eye-opening surah of Quran. Really, wakes you from us, from your slumber. So, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the last session, I started with you doing ayah number 5. If you all remember, we were covering ayah number 5, and we were talking about different types of low, right? So in the last session, how many types of low I expected for advanced students to know? Yes, for advanced students, they must have an idea of 4 different types of low. And we have talked about low masdariya in detail. We talked about low tamanni, right? We talked about low tamanni and low masdariya. So in low tamanni, and where do you see, before I take you to low tamanni, I would like you to tell me, where do you expect to see low masdariya? Low masdariya, where do you expect to see low masdariya? Is there any particular fail that I have taught you that yes, it is going to be always found after vadda yavaddu? You are going to find this, and it's always the masdarul muawwal that is formed by low masdariya is always going to be nasb in status, and it is going to be mafulun bihi for the yavaddu, right? We have covered that. We should not have to repeat everything again, right? In case of low tamanni, there were few tips that I gave you, that you start to think about low tamanni. If you do not find jawab, if you have no waw before low, if you find your low as followed by fa'us sababiyya, right? There is no jawabu shart. There may be or may not be fa'us sababiyya, right? There may be or may not be fa'us sababiyya, but if you don't have any jawab, if you don't have any waw before low, you can think about low as low tamanni ghair shartiya. Again, I will give you this disclaimer. You may find it in Arab books just labeled as low shartiya with jawab mahzoof. However, for those of you who want to learn this concept, it is just you can label it as low tamanni ghair shartiya, and these are the conditions that we have already covered in the last session. When it comes to low zaida, so the previous one has no jawab, and this one also does not have any jawab. Okay, so one thing that is common for low tamanni and low zaida, you will not find a jawab. Okay, you will not find a jawab with them. However, low zaida is preceded by waw al haliya. Low zaida is preceded by waw al haliya. So in here, if you can see on the slide, وَلَا تَنْكِحُوا الْمُشْرِكَاتِ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنَّ وَلَا أَمَةٌ مُؤْمِنَةٌ خَيْرٌ مِّن مُشْرِكَةٍ وَلَوْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ. Even if she pleases you all, if she amazes you all. So this vow there is a vow before low, and you will find this translation, even if. What you will find in translation, that even if is working very well. It's sitting very well with the translation. If you translate this chunk as even if, it makes total sense. So this low, which is preceded by waw, which is going to be labeled as waw al haliya, has no jawab with it, and you don't see any jawab, right? There is any jawab? You find any jawab? Law ajabatkum, there is no jawab, right? You don't find any jawab. Even if she pleases you all, you are going to call this low as low zaida, and this chunk that comes after low, this jumla failure, is going to be, how should we label this low ajabatkum when waw is being labeled as Waw halia, you are going to call this sentence as fi mahali nasbin jumlatul hal. Is this clear to each and every one of you? This law zaida, you will find it in many ahadith of our beloved Prophet. It is said that after it, in many cases, kana is mahzuf. Ittakun nara, save yourself from the fire. Walau kana bishakki tamratin, even if it is with a piece of a date. But do you find kana here? Do you find kana? Where do I get this translation? Even if it is with a date, it is mahzuf. You will find kana mahzuf, and you will see there is a jar wal majroor after walau, and see how there is no jawab after it. It is preceded by waw. Kana, you are going to consider here kana mahzuf. Is this clear to all of you? Alhamdulillah, everyone is with me. I hope this is not too hard for you all. So now let's come back. Among the 4 different types, the one that we had in our ayah is going to be considered law shartiya, and we already figured that out because there was a jumla to shart and there is lam, which is starting jawabu shart, right? This is shartiya with lamul waqia fi jawabu shart being there. So this is law shartiya. But when you see law, what do you expect to see after it? What do you expect to see after law? You expect to see a fail, right? You expect to see a fail after law. But is there any fail after this law? Law annahum sabaru. Law annahum sabaru. This is masdar al-muawwal. Annahum is haruf masdariya. Annahum nasab wa mansub, right? Nasab wa mansub. And this is hum is ismu anna. Sabaru is khabru anna. And this masdarul muawwal is going to have a status, right? And let's see what its status should be. So if you have a law followed by something like this, walau annahum amanu wattaqaw lamathubatum min indillahi khair law kanu ya'lamun. So this is going to be annahum is going to be considered. No, think about it again. It is going to be considered a file for felu shart sabata mahzuf. It is going to be a file for sabata mahzuf, and sabata is going to be considered a fail for which annahum is the whole masdar muawwal is acting as a file. So if I'm saying that in if there is a ism, if it after law, just like in this case, you are going to consider that there is a failu shart sabata which has been omitted, and this annahum amanu wattaqaw is going to be the masdar muawwal fi mahali raf'in fa'il. And in here, in our ayah, annahum sabaru hatta takhruja ilayhim. So what is it going to be labeled as? La masubatun, lam is lamul waqia fi jawabu shart, masubatun is the jawab of shart. This annahum sabaru is going to be fi mahali raf'in fa'il li fi'lu shart sabata mahzuf. Li fi'li shart mahzuf sabata, right? Everyone got it? That there was a fail sabata, and you have covered this with me in the short series. For those of you who have not been able to go over the short series on law, make sure you go through it. It will be helpful for you to understand this concept even better, because it's not going to take much of your time. Okay. And also remember the association of law with an. There are 2 types of an that you can find law with. One can be law shartiya, can come with 2 types of an. One can be an mukhaffafa min anna saqila, as you can see in here, wa allaw istaqamu ala tariqati, and this is, I think, suratul jinn. And this law can be found also after an zaida, which is found between a qasam and law shart. Wallahi allaw fa'alta la akramtuka. By I swear by God, if you would have done that, surely I would have given you izzah, or I would have graced you. So this is the first one, al-law, an and law. An is in here, an mukhaffafa min anna thaqila. In the second example, an is going to be an zaida. Okay. So now let's see what the question is. I know, but I can hardly figure out mahzoof things. And this is going to be, when once you know that you always see a fail after law, once you know that you always see fail after law, it should make you think that what happened here, that the law shartiya, and now you should know that it is always followed by a fail. And you will see another example coming up soon. So if it is followed by a fail, law shartiya is followed by fail, if you don't find that fail there, you consider it mahzoof. Okay. And again, law shartiya, how do we know this is law shartiya? You have this lamul waqiya. Sister Azrina is giving you a hint as well, that this is law shartiya. You have to consider it being followed by a fail. Even when when I was showing you examples of law tamanni, or I was showing you example of law zaida, they are all followed by fail. Law, you expect to see a fail after it. If you don't find a fail after it, then you consider it omitted or mahzoof. And if you find a masdar muawwal after it, it is going to be considered fi mahali raf'in, file for that failu shart mahzoof, which in here is going to be fail sabata. How many of you understood this and are with me? Alhamdulillah. And if there is still some confusion, I will strongly recommend to go back and listen to the recording, and this is going to make inshallah complete sense. Recording of this session and recording of your short series on law. Okay, so now annahum, easy, you already have covered that. Annahum is nasab wa ismuha sabaru is the khabru. Anna sabaru is fail madin, wal fa'il bawil jama'a fi mahalli rafin damir muttasil baris, right? Everyone should be with me on that. There should not be any confusion about identifying sabaru as fail madin. When you look at hatta, how will you label hatta? Is it an ism, fail, or harf? Okay, so I'm seeing an answer that this is harf jar, and yes. So now see very carefully. When I covered hatta with you, I taught you hatta as a word which is going to be included among your harufe nasiba. However, it does not have an action of its own. It is not the one that makes your mudari mansoob, right? It is not. Does it do it by its own action, or it has to take help from others? Because remember, the only ones that are able to act on fail mudare on their own, I taught you, like an, lan, kai, izan. Those were the only ones. When it comes to lamu talil, lamul jahud, hatta, fa, waw, aw, in any session you will find that these are going to be needing a help from a very helpful, very generous unmudmira. There is always a hidden an after lamu talil, lamul jahud, hatta, fa, waw, aw. Why this lamu talil written separately from the rest of them is because sometimes the an, which is always going to be hidden after lamul juhud hatta fa waw aw, is going to be visible after lamu talil. Okay, it is going to be visible after lamu talil. Makes sense? So it's hiding after lamu talil is jais, so it may be visible, it may not be visible, right? But for the rest of the cases, lamul jahud hatta fa waw aw, it is going to be wajib for it to be hidden. So if I am just saying that hatta is there, it has something hidden after it. So how am I treating hatta as? What should I treat hatta as by itself? By itself, what is its role? How have you learned hatta? You have learned it as harf jar, right? So if it is harf jar, so now with an and takhruja. So I'm saying now, I hope everyone is with me, that after hatta, I'm considering an unhidden after hatta, which is making takhruja, right? So an takhruja, which is masdar al-muawwal, is going to be fi mahalli jarin, right? Fi mahalli jarin. And if anyone has written otherwise, kindly, now, you can always make amendments, right? You can make corrections. And in here, tahruja ilayhim is going to be, tahruja is fail mudare, mansub bi an mudmira, wujuban bada hatta. Ilayhim is jar wal majroor, right? Jar wal majroor, and it is muta'alliq bil tahruja, right? And this whole chunk, the masdar al mu'awwal, is going to be with an, going to be considered fi mahalli jar, because it is being affected by hatta, right? Jar wal majroor together in jumla failure. How should I label them? In connect, when I connect it with whatever has been mentioned before, sabaru hatta tahruja ilayhim, it is going to be labeled as muta'alliq bil fail. I hope this was not too hard to determine how you are going to label hatta with an mudbara tahruja ilayhim, and everything is making complete sense to each and every one of you. So this whole chunk is jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil. If I give you just takhruja ilayhim, which is the sila of an mudmira, sila of an mudmira, what will be the status of that? La mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Remember, I taught you this, that if the sila of ism mawsul and harf mawsul, both are la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. So if you don't add an with it, takhruja ilayhim by itself is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. This sentence is la mahalla, but when you have unattached, you have masdarul mu'awwal fi mahalli jar because of hatta before it, and hatta takhruja ilayhim is muta'alliq bil fi'l sabaru. Lam is going to be lamul waqia fi jawabu shart. Kana is going to be your very interesting fail, nakis, nasikh, right? And it's going to be ismu kana in here is going to be huwa, and khairan is going to be khabru kana, and lahum you can label it as jar wal majroor muta'alliq bil khabar, right? It is muta'alliq with your khairan. When it comes to this whole chunk, this is lakana khairal lahum is going to be the jawab. Jawab of adwatu shart ghair jazima is always la mahalla laha min al i'rab. It has never ever going to have any i'rab. Is this true or false? It's true, right? And even if a jawab is of adawatu shart jazima, but it does not have fa'ur rabita or izafu jaya, it's also going to be la mahalla laha min al i'rab. True or false? True, right? Because if there is no, if it is not muqtarinatil bil fa or izafu jaya, it's again la mahalla laha min al i'rab. Always remember. Okay, now when you have law, it is not only adatu shart ghair jazim, it is also, remember, it's also ghair zarfi. Is that true? It has nothing to do with time or place. What do you think? True? So now, if you look at your adatu shart in here, when we were learning about some important facts about law, when it comes to iza, kullama, lamma, and then comes your lauma, laula, law, amma. These four are haruf, but when it comes to the first three, iza, kullama, lamma, what are they? They are zarf, right? They are all zarf, zaman, right? They are ismiya, zarfiya. If there was iza there, if I consider iza being there, just consider it. Or there is kullama there, or there is iza, kullama, lamma. What will be the status of sentence jumla failure that comes after those adat? It is going to be fi mahalli jar mudaf ilayhi. Very good job. But this is jumla tu shartiya. This is jumla shartiya of adatu shart, that is ghair jazima and ghair zarfi. So it is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Okay. This sentence is going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. I hope this is clear to all of you, that you are not going to give any status to this sentence because law is ghair zarfi, right? It cannot be fi mahalli jar or anything. When it comes to wallahu, wow, most of you have, I think, may call it istinaf. nahi, you want to call it at? Isn't it, yeah, most like istinaf, you're starting a new statement. Allahu, you can call it mubtada, lafzul jalala marfu li ta'zim, ghafurun khabar 1, rahimun khabar 2. And this is your standard jumlatul ismiya, right? This is how your jumla ismiya normally works. Everyone got it so far? Okay. Now, when I show you this ayah, which is ayah number 6, and your ayah number 6 goes on to say, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu in ja'akum fasiqum binaba'in fatabayyanu an tusibu qawman bijahalatin fatusbihu ala ma fa'altum nadimin. So this brings you to your word to word for the next chunk, and I hope I have added that. So, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, O those who have believed. In is translated as if. Ja'akum, he came is the literal translation, but it is going to be based on the context, translated as he comes to you all. Fasiqun, a disobedient, binaba'in, with the news. Fatabayyanu, then you all investigate. An tasibu, an is translated as lest. Tusibu, you all harm qawman, people, bijahalatin, with ignorance. Fatusbihu, then you all will become, or you all became, a literal translation, but based on the context, it's going to be you all will become ala, upon, ma, what, fa'altum, you all did, nadimin, ashamed or regretful. Any confusion about this chunk? The running translation goes on to say, one second. O those who have believed, if there comes to you a disobedient one with information, investigate, lest you harm a people out of ignorance and become over what you have done regretful. So you again have a jumlatun nida, and we have covered it in detail in the past 3 sessions, so we'll not touch it. With every jumlatun nida, there comes a jawabun nida. Jumlatun nida, la mahalla laha min al-i'rab, and your jawabun nida is also going to be la mahalla laha min al-i'rab, right? Then comes your in, and in this course, how many types of in you have covered? 4. Okay, so you already have added 4, because I'm very happy for you. Alhamdulillah. Yes, I have told you that, I have taught you in slide, I have given you 3, but there is one more. So let's see which is missing. You are going to tell me. So one you have covered with me was an mukhaffafa min anna thaqila, in mukhaffafa min inna thaqila, which is followed by lamul fariqa, right? In this, in you find a lam after it. This is a shortened version of inna. So wa in kuntum min qablihi lamina dallina. So lamul fariqa is there. So this tells you that this in is in originality, it is inna. Then you have covered in nafiya, which is in harf nafi, and it is followed either by illa, or sometimes it is followed by lamma, which is which is used in the meaning of istasna, right? Among the 3 different types of lamma, this should remind you that lamma is also of 3 types. One is jazima, one is shartiya, and one is in the meaning of illa. So this in is accompanied by illa. If it is accompanied by illa, the in is going to be in nafiya. The third type of in is in shartiya. In shartiya, so see here, the examples that you're giving, Sister Zarina, tafsiriya, mukhaffafa, zaida. Oh no, so tafsiriya is not in here. It is not tafsiriya. That's the only thing that is not in here. It is in is mukhaffafa. In can be nafiya. In is shartiya, right? In is shartiya. So these 3 are there on your slide, right? In mukhaffafa, in nafiya, in shartiya. The one that we have not seen in Quran as such, so is in zaida. That is a in when it comes with ma nafiya, and it comes with ma nafiya, it is going to make ma nafiya lose its action. When ma nafiya acts, when it has an amal, how does it work? How does it work? When ma nafiya works. How does it work? Its function is similar to what? Can anyone remind me? Laysa. Very good job. Al-Hijaziyah. Very good job. Ma Nafiya al-Hijaziyah is, is going to have a khabar that is nasbin status. But when this in Zaida, which is not on your slide right now, when this in Zaida comes with ma nafiya, it makes it lose its function and the khabar is no longer going to be nasb. What will be the status of khabar if ma nafiya is in Zaida? It is going to be rough in status. It's going to make it lose its action. Okay, just like how if there is a change in the order of mubtada and khabar, ma is not going to be, no longer going to be hijaziya, it becomes muhmila. Ma is no longer in action if its mubtada and khabar is separated by illa. So the third thing that makes ma nafiya lose its action is in zaida. What is it in? What is that? In zaida, it will make ma nafiya al hijaziya lose its function. It's not going to work like laysa anymore. Its khabar is going to be just simple plain ra. So among the four different types that you are now covering, if I take you back to the ayah, what type of in is this? In ja'akum fasikum binaba'in fatabayyanu. In is shartiya. In shartiya jazima, right? In shartiya jazima. Very good job. That is correct answer. It is going to be, we are going to say that in is shartiya, and felu shart, which is ja'a in here, is going to be fi mahalli jasmin. Fi mahal, felu shart. And listen to what I'm saying. The felu shart in this case is going to be considered fi mahalli jasmin. Kum is going to be kum, kaf al qitab is going to be mafulun bihi, mim is for li jama is zakur for the masculine plural. Fasiqun, fasiqun is going to be fa'il. So what happened here? There is a fail, there is a maful bihi, and there is a file. Is there any change in sequence? Yes, right? There is a change in sequence. So there is a taqdeem of mafulun bihi alal file, and the taqdeem in here is wajib. Very good job. Because when the attached pronoun is attached to a fail and there is an outside doer, it is wajib for attached pronoun, which is mafulun bihi, to be before your file. Very good answers. Very proud of you all. So now comes your binaba'in. Two words connected through a fragment which is called jar wal majroor. Binaba'in. If a disobedient comes to you, can it be your jar wal majroor which is answering? How does he come to you? With the news. Is with the news giving you, and how he came to you all? So you are you want to label it as a sifa for fasik or a hal for fasik? What do you think? Or hal for the whatever is before that? You want to label it both ways? That I will take both as a right answer. That's fine. But you understand that how does he come to you? He comes to you with the news. Okay. So then comes your fatabayyanu. This type of fa. There is a fa here. What do you call this fa? Which comes with your jawab. But then you all investigate. If this fa is fa'ur rabita. Fa'ur rabita, right? Fa is going to be called fa'ur rabita. Remember? Right? So there are conditions where you see fa'ur rabita. So just a quick recap. It is seen with when jawab is jumla ismiya, when jawab is a tal, which includes fi'lul amr, fi'lul nahi, when the jawab begins with qad, ma nafiya, harf nasib lan, fi'l jamid laysa ni'ma bi'sa, when jawab has in the beginning harf istiqbal, sin wa sofa. What is the condition here that warrants the use of fa'u rabita? Fatabayyanu, there is a talb there. There is fi'lul amr there, which made you see fa'u rabita there. And sometimes you can also see fa'u rabita in other than these seven. I have added one. Sometimes you can see it before innama. Okay, there was an eighth added to your slides, innama, right? So come back and see here. You have failul amr coming up as a jawabu shart. So therefore, you are seeing faw rabita. The status of a sentence. The status of a sentence now is going to be, what will be the status of a sentence? Now you have adatu shart jazima. Jawab has a fa in the beginning. And this is going to be fi mahalli jasmin. Fi mahalli jasmin. Fatabayyanu has a fail. Who is the file in fail? Fatabayyanu. Waw, wawil jama'a is the pronoun, which is a dual pronoun in fatabayyanu. In case of when you have fatabayyanu and then you have an tasibu qawman bi jahala. So let's just do this part, okay? An is going to be considered among the four types that you have covered, and is going to be considered an masdariya nasiba because it is affecting fail mudari after it, making it mansoob. So this is masdariya, and this is also nasiba, and the fail after it is mansoob bihasfin noon li'annahu min al-af'al al-khamsa. Tusibu qauman, qauman is going to be your maful. You can call it mafulun bihi. Bijahalatin is going to be your jar wal majroor, out of ignorance. So you can call it just like mutalik will fail, but is there any finer way to, label it? That you may harm a people out of ignorance, unknowingly. Unknowingly. See, you are okay. So is this, this is bijahalatin, is it describing qawm? Is it describing qawm? If you're calling it qawm, is it, describing qawm, or is it describing you all? Is it describing you all, or is it describing qawm? Tell me one thing. It is something about you all out of ignorance, harm a people. So it is you all. So if I take it back to you all, to sibu of you all, a vow of you all in here, to sibu, then this has to be hal, right? The qawm is not ignorant. You, out of ignorance, ignorantly are striking someone or harming someone, isn't it? So bi jahalatin is going to be mutalik bi hal from min al file wabil jamaa. I hope this makes sense. Is this clear to all of you? That how this is going to be considered hal of wabil jamaa before, and now the whole masdar al muawwal is going to be fi mahalli nasbin mafulun lahu for fatabayyanu, right? Right? Why should you investigate? So that you do not harm someone out of ignorance. And this is going to be, again, when you have to connect it with the rest, and fa tusbihu, the fa is going to be considered. Now it's the same. Fa is going to give you, first you harm someone out of ignorance, then what will happen? You will be ashamed of what you did, right? So fa is going to be considered faul atf litartib wa taqib. There is both in that, right? It gives you the sequence of an events, and this is also giving you the taqib. As a result, you will be regretful, you will be ashamed. So tusbihu is going to be fail madin. Oh, is it fail madin or fail mudari? Fail mudari. It is going to be fail mudari mansoob. What is, and fail naqis? Very good job. Fail mudari naqis mansoob. And what is making it mansoob? How did it become mansoob, Alia? Is it mansoob because of an, or is it mansoob because of atf? There's a fine line, right? It is mansoob bil atf. Your answer is going to be mansoob bil atf, not because of an. You are going to, because you have fa there, you are going to just connect it to before, and you are going to say mansoob bil atf, and then tusbihu, the waw in tusbihu. Should I call it file, or should I call it something else? When I call fa as atf, I don't call it, I don't treat it as fa sababiyah. It is tusbihu. Wow in tusbihu is going to be ismu fail asbaha. It is going to be ismu fail asbaha. Ala ma fa'altum. Alama jar wal majroor. Ma mausula mushtarika. Fa'altum silatul mausul la mahalla laha min al i'rab fail madin wal fa'il ta'ul fa'il, right? Taul file is the file, and meme is li jamai zakur. Nadimin is going to be labeled as is going to be labeled as khabru asbaha. So for those of you who want to label fa as fa us sababiya, what have we learned about fa us sababiya? There may be something that is there that may qualify it to be faus sababiya. But where do we see faus sababiya? What are the conditions where we see faus sababiya? There will be a tal, very good job, and there is a nafi, right? So there is a talb or nafi. It has to be either nafi or there is a talb, right? So there is a talb before, which is fatabayyanu. There is a talb before. But if you look at the context, then you all investigate lest you harm a nation ignorantly, then you will become among those who are nadimeen. It's make more sense that this fa is just for litartib wa taqib and just giving you a sequence of events. So I know where you are coming from. For looking at tabayyanu will make you think that this fa can be very well fa sababiya with unmudmira, and unmudmira has made this tusbihu mudare mansub, but it makes more sense if you label it as tartib wa taqib, where it is just taking one sequence, taking you from one event to another event and laying out the sequence of events for you, and as a result what happened. Does it make sense, Sister Rabia? And I totally understand that where you are coming from, that you saw that Pelul Amr before and you connected it that way. So and that does make sense. But if you label it, however, as something that is showing you the progression of the events, one thing happened and then the next thing happened, that will make more sense. Now in here, in this ayah number 6, where I think I had to do ayah number 6 and then we had to do ayah number 7 as well. Or no, ayah number 7, yeah. Before we go on to ayah number 7, I would like you to tell me, in is one of the harf jazima. Are there any, what is special about in? How many af'al can it affect when it comes to in? 2, very good job. Can you tell me any other harufe jazima that will only and only affect one fail? Give me harufe jazima that can only and only affect one fail. Lamma, lam, very good job. Very good job. There are 4 of them and they all start with lam. So one is lamma, one is lam, one is lamul amr. Very good job. 3. And the last one, no, la nahiya. La nahiya. All start with lam, and these are the 4. Lam, lamma, li, la nahiya. They will only and only affect one mudari. Okay. So if that is something that you do not remember, make sure you remember this. Okay. The slide is there for you to review. So lam, lamma, li, la nahiya, they are going to only and only affect one fail mudari. When it comes to the rest of the fail mudhari, that the adwatu shart jazima, rest of the adwatu shart jazima that include in, isma, ma, man, mahma, aina ma, haisuma, kaifama, mata, anna, ayana, aina, ayuma, how many they can affect? This whole list, how many they can affect? they have an effect on two af'al. They can make two af'al majzoom simultaneously. So tajzimil fi'laini, you will find it attached to them. When it comes to your adwatu shart jazima, remember the harf are only in isma. Ism li ghairil akil are ma mahma. Ism lil akil is man. For hal you have kaifama. When it comes to ism shart zarf zaman mata ayyana anna are the zarf zaman. When it comes to zarf makan, you have anna, aina, ainama, haisuma, and ayu. What will ayu be dependent on, or ayuma will be dependent on? What do you think will determine how ayu is going to act? How will ayu act? It's mudaf ilayhi. Very good job. Very good answer. Yes, it depends. It can fall in any category, any ism category, but it will depend on what is its mudaf ilayhi. Is this clear to all of you? That what type of, which category does it have to fall under? It depends on its mudaf ilayhi. You have a whole slide. You have a whole slide on that. When you will look at your questions, in your questions, I have shown you a slide. One second. Where ayu was, taught in detail. Why I'm going to these questions. One second. I do. Yeah. So I may share with you later on, because I don't want to take too much of time from, istifham. In istifham, you will find how ayu acts is based on what its mudaf ilayhi is. So here ayu is there, right? So ma, man, mata, aina, kaifa, it depends. If it's mudaf ilayhi is denoting a hal or zar, zaman, makan, alal akil or ghairul akil, this is how you are going to treat it, as a question word or as a shart word. Okay, so keep those things in mind. Do not forget, that's important piece of information. This is basically that I have for this ayah number 6. And now comes your ayah number 7, right? I hope I'm not missing anything in ayah number 6 that I wanted to share with you and revise with you, basically. In here again, you found an, and we have just recently covered, so we should not go there. We found the hal, just like bi jahalatin is shubu jumla, coming up as hal. And now comes your tusbihu, and you have covered how your fail can be tam and nakis. In tam, you have action, time, and pronoun, but in nakis, action is missing. And you can also divide nakis. Your fail nakis can be further subdivided into two types. Do you all remember how your nakis can be further subdivided into two types? Based on the khabar, right? So in case of kana, asbaha, adha, zalla, amsa, bata, sara, mazala, ma bariha, ma fatiya, mangpakka, madama, laysa, all of them can have a khabar like any khabar of a standard jumla ismiya. With kana, you have seen, three types of khabars very, very commonly. In asbaha, you are seeing, that there is a mufrad ism which is coming up as a khabar. But when it comes to kada wa akhwatuha, afalun naqisa, that are kada wa akhwatuha, like afalul muqaraba, afalu shuru, or afalu raja, what is one thing common? What is one thing common? All of them will have fail mudari as their khabar, right? So based on the khabar, when you see, look at your slides very carefully, so you will know how the division has been done. So I should have added action versus no action. If there is action, and this is tam. If there is no action, the fail is going to be nakis. And based on the khabar of nakis, it can be of two types: kana wa akhwatuha, kada wa akhwatuha. And kada wa akhwatuha are common in having jumla fi'liya, fi'l mudari as their khabar. Okay, so that is that. So now let's begin our ayah number 7. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We have 6 minutes. Wa'lamu anna fikum rasulallahi. So rasulallahi. So wa'lamu, and you all be aware, anna, that indeed, fikum, among you all, Rasulullahi is the messenger of Allah. So let's see our document here. Okay, what did I write here? I didn't. Oh, I think I've made another one, but did not share it yet. Maybe. Okay, but for so far, do you understand what is it? Wa'lamu anna fikum rasulullahi means? Like it's very plain and simple. You guys are experts. So I don't think that should be very hard for you all. So when you look at the first word, ilamu, what does it look like? Which category of word? It is failul amr. Every fail must have a pronoun, and in here, wawil jama'a is your pronoun, right? Then comes anna fikum rasulullahi. Anna fikum rasulullahi. Just take it as such. Anna is from harf nasiba, and inna wa akhwatuha. With anna comes its ism, and its ism is rasulullahi. Rasula is the ismu anna. Lafzul jalala is majrur li ta'zim because it is mudafun ilayhi. Fikum is going to be jar wal majrur muta'alliq bil khabar. What are the two fragments that you can see between anna or inna and its ism? You can see what can come between anna and its ism or inna and its ism. Shibu jumla. There can be a jar wal majroor, or there can be a zarf. There can be a jar wal majroor, or there can be a zarf that can come between anna and its ism, right? Inna ma'al usri yusra, fa inna ma'al usri yusra. Ma'al usri is your shubu jumla, zarf, and it came between inna and its ism. Similarly, jar wal majroor can come between inna and its ism. When you have something like that after fail, wa'lamu, or of all of this nature, do you remember which category of fail ilamu belongs to? Okay, very good job. So we have covered not too long ago certain types of af'al based on their based on their ability to take maf'ul. If a fail can take maf'ul, it is mutaaddi. If it cannot take maf'ul, it is going to be lazim. Fail mutaaddi can be further subdivided into three different types. It can be fail mutaaddi li maf'ulun bihi wahid, in which case it's going to only take one maf'ul. Then it's going to be al fail mutaaddi li maf'ulain, where it has an ability to take two maf'uls, and then there is a third category which has an ability to take three maf'ul bihis, right? We will focus on those ones that can take two. We have further classified them as zanna wa akhwatuha and ata wa akhwatuha. Can somebody tell me why zanna wa akhwatuha are separated from ata wa akhwatuha, though they both can take two maf'ul bihis? Why they are separated? So there's nakistam. Okay. What else? What have we covered that they do? When it comes to, they are a falul yakin. Yes, they are a falul yakin, and they enter on a sentence. When it comes to, remember one thing, when it comes to zanna wa akhwatuha, these of all enter upon a jumla ismiya, right? They are said to enter upon a jumla ismiya and make its mubtada as mafulun bihi awwal, and its khabar as mafulun bihi sanin, right? Mafulun bihi sanin can be of three types. Just like anything, it can be single ism, jumla ismiya, jumla failya, it can be shubu jumla. Remember that. Therefore, zanna wa akhwatuha are categorized under afalun nasikha, because they do the naskh of jumla ismiya and change the i'rab of that jumla ismiya into mansub. Now mubtada is going to be nasb and mafulun bihi and become mafulun bihi awwal, and the khabar is going to be always mafulun bihi sanin, and it's also going to be nasb. What is the natural what is the standard status of mubtada and khabar? It is always rough, right? Just like we did Allahu Ghafurun Rahimun, right? So, but now when they enter upon a sentence, they do a naskh and they are called afalu nasikha. When it comes to ata wa akhwatuha, can they do the same thing? Can they do the same thing? For example, I'm going to show you, and this is very important because when you say that they're both in the same category, um, you should know how this is going to be understood. So I'm going to show you one example. First of all, let me show you a simple example of ata, okay, because that's a very famous surah, everyone knows. So can I make inna atoina kal kausar? So atoina fail madin wal file now filein. Ka is my mafulun bihi awal. Al kausar is my mafulun bihi sanin. Can I make this into a sentence? Antal kausuru, that you are a kausar. Mazallahi. Can this work like that? No, right? Now let me show you something. Let me show you something, and it may take some time. Um, and there will be 30 pictures, 30 options. I knew that's going to happen, but I will take you to Surah Taha that we have covered, and we see is ra'aytahum dallu. Can I make this ra'ayta? Can I take it as afalul qulub, filul qalb? Can I call it filul qalb? Ra'ayta. Can it be? Right? Rayul basar, rayul qalb, right? When it's rayul qalb, then it is, the same thing. Zanna wa akhwatuha. So now look at this one. Can I say hum is mubtada, the lu is khabar, fi mahalli raf'in, right? I can say they have gone astray. I can make a sentence out of it. Home can be treated as mubtada. The lu can be khabar of mubtada, fail madin, wal file the mir muttasil baris, wawil jama'a fi muhalli raf'in. But the same thing, was I able to do with ata that I just showed you? No. So though they are both maful mutaddi mafulain, but their function is different. Zanna wa aqwatuha are nawasikhul mubtada wal khabar. They are al-af'alun nasikha. They enter upon a jumla ismiya and they turn mubtada as mafulun bihi awwal and khabar mafulun bihi thanin. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, so again, wa'alamu, which category? Wa'alamu is going to be considered failul yaqeen when it has two mafulun bihis, when it has two mafulun bihis, and also it's also in sometimes you may not see two mafulun bihi, you see what is called sadda masadda maf'ulay, right? Do you all remember sadda masadda maf'ulay? So in here the example that I was showing you, in case of Suratul Hujurat, wa'alamu anna fikum rasulallahi, this can I call it sadda masadda maf'ulay alima? Can this be labeled as that? And this is going to be, then in that case it is going to be, what will be the status of this if I'm calling it maf'ulay? Maf'ul is always nasbin status, is going to be fi mahalli nasbin, right? Everyone got it? Okay, so now I have already taken 4 more minutes from the class time. I will end the session here. Inshallah, we are going to continue with ayah number 7 in the next session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayka. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I am very, very proud of you all. Alhamdulillah, you have done such excellent work. You have made me super duper proud. And anytime any teacher, they everyone in the end, may they be the Quran teacher, they all everyone needs to have some they want to see why they are working and what they are working for, and some results. Everyone looks for that. How much I try to be akhirah focused, in the end I'm a human being, right? But everyone, whatever effort they put in, whatever plans they have for a group of students, I'm very pleased that you are doing way beyond my expectations. Tabarakallahu. Take care of yourselves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you person of amal, inshallah, and keep you all humble, and give you more beneficial knowledge. Uh,